ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Captain Frank Hawks. So, my wife likes Dutch Bros. It's a very simple thing. And my wife, every weekend, will send me to go get Dutch Bros. She likes the large iced Kokomo. Dutch Bros is generally operated by young folk. Young folk who are just starting off their lives. It might be their first job, might be their third job, who knows. And they always ask you, what are you up to today? So I kind of explain my day to this person in line. I didn't think I would talk about this at all because it meant something to me. I don't know if it'll mean anything to you, okay? But this weekend I hung out with my kids. I spent a little time with my wife. We watched a couple of horror movies. Tried to. Some of the stuff that we watched was fairly boring. I introduced her to my favorite version of Night of the Living Dead, which is the 1990s version. I went nerfing with people half my age and ran amok. My whole body feels like jello. That's the reason why I have a general nasty disposition. About once a week, I do about 10 push-ups, 10 squats, and a minute plank. I practice katas. I make things. I go and I do stuff, and I kind of explain. You know, this lady asked how was my day. Oh, it was pretty good. I went out and I nerfed with people half my age, high-powered nerf blasters and things of that ilk, what most people do as far as nerf. And she's like, oh, so you're tired now, so you're going to go home and get a nice rest. No, I got to stay up tonight. I got to produce some videos for my YouTube. And then I got to stay up till like 6 o'clock in the morning so that I can do my 12-hour shift the following day. And she stopped, and this is a person who's maybe half my age or younger, looked me dead in the eye with all of the gray in my beard and in my hair and stuff, and said, how does somebody your age do all the stuff that you do when somebody my age can't do half of what you do in a day? And there was so much that I wanted to say. And what I said was stupid. What I said was, you got to stay young at heart, basically. You got to stay young at heart. You gotta, have fun. When and where you can, you got to stay young at heart. That's not what I wanted to say. And so I'm going to say what I wanted to say here. Okay, it's not complicated. An object in motion has a tendency to stay in motion, so don't stop being in motion. The only time I'm not in motion is whenever I'm at home, and that's only when all of the chores are done. And I don't do most of the chores. I'm doing laundry right now. Now, I write. I still have a sword for my sister I have to complete. I have several reading projects I have to complete, including this one right here. Have to complete. I think you all know what that is. I make things. I doodle. I do all sorts of stuff. I'm currently, don't tell them, making a bag of caps coins for Captain Xavier. That's one of my present projects. I drink a lot of root beer, so an object in motion has a tendency to stay in motion. You got to keep your mind in motion. You got to keep your body in motion, because the science is fairly clear on the subject matter. The more you slow down, the more slowed down you're gonna get. And most of the young people that I end up meeting wherever I go, at my job, or going out and nerfing, and or going to the Dutch Bros, all have the same complaint. I'm so tired all of the time. Well, stop drinking energy drinks. What do you think's slowing you down? You see, the chemistry behind an energy drink, it kind of comes to a head. Okay, first of all, you're putting crap in your body. So that crap is supposed to make your body go, right? Well, you're young. Your body ought to be going all by itself without you even trying. I don't ever remember drinking a power drink or coffee whenever I was young. I thought coffee was something stupid and for the elderly. Coffee is the only stimulant I consume. I pretty much cut out candy. I stopped drinking alcohol. And that brings me to the next subject. If it doesn't make you happy, don't keep it in your life. Okay, if you are doing something and it doesn't make you happy, don't do that. Do the things that make you happy, because the things that make you happy give you energy. I paint with my daughter. Um, I do all sorts of stuff. I'm constantly doing something. You have to constantly be doing, I don't do any kind of a serious workout. Every other week I do 10 push-ups, 10 squats, and a minute plank. The other week I go and I run amok with people half my age, wondering why I'm keeping up with them and why they can't keep up with me. I have Addison's disease. I do not produce adrenaline or cortisol. That stuff that your body naturally produces whenever you start to get tired, that's what your body naturally produces to make you keep going. It's also part of your fight and flight system. Um, I don't slow down except for when I'm at home. Home is supposed to be sanctuary. Home is where you slow down, you stop, you sit down, you do things around the house, you doodle, you write, you make stuff, you know, plain and simple, right? When you are out of the house, you never stop moving. When you do stop moving, you only do it for 10 minutes. You sit down for 10 minutes and you focus on your breath and you meditate. You set all the bullshit to one side. You sit down, you breathe, and you meditate. You focus on your breath. When something distracts you from the breath, you bring the focus back to the breath. It's as simple as that. I'm talking about stuff in your head. A stray thought, boobs, stuff like that. You bring the focus back to the breath. And you breathe. Long, slow, focused, deep breaths for 10 minutes. And I guarantee you, after that, you will have more energy than you would have if you drink a can of bullshit that's going to make you feel tireder the next day. More tired the next day. More cruddy the next day. I can't tell you how many young people I run into who are like, man, I feel like shit. Well, how many energy drinks did you drink yesterday? 10? Okay, that brings me to the next subject. What are you eating? If all you eat is garbage food, that's all you're going to feel like is like garbage. You got to sit down to a nice meal. See, for you young folks, you have this nice opportunity called parents. Most of you anyways. For those of you who do, frequently they're going to make these healthy meals that are nice, and they're home-cooked meals. Sit down with your folks and eat. That brings me to the next thing. You can't just feed the body. The body is not the only part of the equation. It isn't. You got to find something for your mind to work out. And listen to the way I'm saying that. You have to find something for your mind to work out. Every day you should be finding a problem to resolve. Every day. No matter what it is. Even if you don't completely understand it, so long as it is on the cusp of your understanding, you should be doing something every day that pushes the cusp of your understanding an inch further. You find the envelope and you push it. You push it just an inch further every day. every day. You need to, when you're at work, you can't just do your job and then spend the next minutes bullshitting and standing around. You have to make your job not only a routine, but like a ballet. You have to be moving. You have to turn your job into a martial art. And what that means is creating discipline, structure, and art around it. Okay? And in it, and part of it. So I'm a security guard. I have a partner who takes temperatures. She's about 16 years older than me or so. No, not that much. She's probably like 10, maybe 12 years older than me. Lady has bum knees. She's overweight. Her back hurts. Her arms hurt. Her head hurts. Her butt hurts. Her feet hurt. She got out of the military and she stopped moving. I never stop moving. I have these breaks where I sit down, I chill out. But once I'm up and moving, I don't stop moving. I do 100 things at once, and I do that on purpose. I started with like 1 or 2 things, and I built that up, and I gave my body something to work with, and then I made it into an art. People call me the ninja skill security guard, because I'm wanting this guy over here, I'm handing this person their stuff over here. I make it a dance. Because making it a dance makes it more dynamic and more dynamic on your body. That gives your body energy because it becomes entertaining to the creative parts of your brain. Okay? Then let's go back to the brain. Let's find something for our brain to work out. What do you like? Do you like gardening? Make a garden. You can have an indoor garden. You can have an outdoor garden. You could have a hanging garden. You could have whatever kind of garden you want. Garden. Do that shit. Okay? Always be looking for new ways to plant things. During the winter season, you need to learn how to make a greenhouse. You need to learn how to do these things. Because if gardening is your thing, that needs to become the problem your mind uses to work out. Okay? Then there's, guys who like math. Always be working out a math problem that is at the cusp of your understanding. Okay, is just slightly out of reach. That you really have to work and rack your brain to get that solved. If you want to be a writer, I'll give you the best advice any writer can get. Write a page every day. It doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to be a part of a story. It doesn't need to be a shape of any kind. Write. Because that's what writers do. Writers write. So sit down and write. Take the time out of your day to do that. Because if you don't, you're not a writer. A writer should be writing every day, even when they're exhausted, even whenever it doesn't make sense to. Sit in front of that blank page for a second, take a long, slow, deep breath, and just type something. Trust me, it'll go from there. If you're a guy who's into sports, you should be reading about sports. You should be reading coaches' tactics as far as winning the game is concerned. When the game's over and that whole thing's done, you ask to study the coach's ways. Okay, and if not him, you go to the library. There are playbooks everywhere that you can get your hands on. And just study them, research them, write down notes, make a playbook of your own. And if you are a person who likes to work with metal, you should always be doing something every day, no matter what it is. No matter what it is. You should always be doing something every day that challenges your intellect, that gives your mind something to work out. Okay? And that's how you stay young, is you keep your mind on problems it can work out, because when you stop using this, it stops being usable. Okay, it's like everything else in your body. When you stop using this, it stops being usable. When you stop using this, it stops being usable. I am 44 years old, and I can out arm wrestle most people half my age. Okay? I got a six-pack in development from running around with the dumbasses with the Nerf guns, and from doing my little workout every now and then. I'm sitting here, I'm making a sword for my sister. I still got to figure out how exactly I'm going to work out the bamboo, because it's going to be that kind of a sword where the sword is in the bamboo. You know, let me give you a prime example. So I cut off a piece of the bamboo, and I made this. It's a little container with a cork. So I'm off camera. It's a little container with a little loop that you could hang on your belt. I made this. It's bullshit, but it was something for my mind to work out. It was something for my mind to figure out how to do. It's not that complicated. It doesn't even really matter what it is. You have to keep in motion. So long as you're sitting on your ass and you're not doing anything, what are you accomplishing? You 20-somethings, you 30-somethings, you 15, 16 and up people, okay, who are younger than me, but older than 15. You people who are trying to figure out who you are, you're not going to have any clue who you are until you are either in the hospital about to die or looking over a cliff edge into the Grand Canyon, or standing waist deep in the damn ocean whenever you're in your mid-30s thinking that you're having a midlife crisis, your whole world's falling apart. What you do with that is what defines who you are. So, you know, here I am. My first wife cheated on me and then divorced me and took my family for a ride. Okay? And I was alone. And I thought there for about 5 seconds, my life's ruined. I'm living in a shitty apartment. I can't keep up with anything. I'm going to die alone. That's what I thought. I'm going to die alone. I may as well get it over with. Those were the thoughts that I had. And then, as per usual, the warrior part of myself looked me dead in the eye in the mirror and said, "What the fuck do you think you're doing? You don't want to live that kind of a life. You don't want to be in that kind of a headspace. You don't want to be in a space where you feel trapped, so change it." And so as fast as I could at the time, which at the time was a snail's pace, I changed my world around me and moved away from those thoughts. The first thing that I had to do is I had to get rid of all of my living room furniture. It all had to go. It all had to go. And the reason why is because what makes me happy is martial arts, my wife, my kids, my job, the things that I like in my life, like making random little bullshit things. I can't just sit and do nothing. I have to accomplish some goal. And there is still huge swaths of my life where I sit around and do nothing but watch people ride that stupid slingshot ride. Because I think it's funny. I would never do that. But it's hilarious to me that people do. There's still huge swaths of my life where there's nothing. And it's just because I haven't filled it yet. Now, I do somewhere in the ballpark of about 4,000 steps a day. My wife scoffs at that. I do 10,000. I don't give a shit. I move. Do you move? Take a hard look around you right now. You 20-somethings, you over 15ers, you 30-somethings. Take a long, hard look around you. Is everything in your environment making you happy? Are you finding things for your mind to work out? Are you staying in motion? An object in motion has a tendency to stay in motion. Guys who sit around and drink beers and eat bad food and do nothing with their life outside of work and hand all of the money over to the wife, these people, they grow up to be they grow old to be very sick, very in pain, very uncomfortable people just waiting to die. You know, my wife's best friend, she's a lady who works with the elderly, the people who are not able to take care of themselves, who are in homes. These people are all overweight. They're all not doing anything with their existence, and they're all incredibly unhappy and all just waiting to die. Do you want to be like that when you get that age? Not that long ago, I watched this documentary on martial artists, which is where I come up with this theory. Here's this 105-year-old karate guy who's just doing the same kata that he has done for the last 60, 70 years. The full kata, just doing his thing. This 100-year-old man is fit as an ox and just does things in his life. It's when we stop doing things in our life and start depending on television and start depending on others to instigate things in our lives, that's when we start dying. Right there. You want to know how I do what all I do? I just do it. I cease to give a fuck about motivation, and I just do it. I do it because it's fun. I do it because it makes me happy, and I do it because it makes me healthier. Because a person who keeps moving is going to have a higher tendency to be able to move when they get older. Because whether you like it or not, after you hit 40, there are huge changes that happen to your body. And that is the moment when your body starts to go downhill. And you have a choice. You can accept that, or you can change it. I think I said everything that I meant to. Oh yeah, one more thing. You ever come up against something you don't understand but want to understand? Don't run away from it. Don't be like, well, I'm not going to go down that avenue. Don't be flippant about it. Find somebody who can teach you, because there's always somebody who can. There's always somebody who's been down the road that you've been down. You need advice, you need guidance, you need mentorship. There's about a bajillion people out there all waiting to do so. You can't spend the rest of your life hiding in your homes, being afraid of what might happen. Go out and live your life. Be safe, don't be stupid, but go out and live your life. Because an object in motion has a tendency to stay in motion. Have fun, be safe, take care of each other. This is Captain Frank Hawks. I love y'all. I love y'all. I'm signing out.